Today I'm going to talk to you on how to survive your Greyhound bus journey. Greyhound buses run along the East Coast and a tiny portion of the West Coast, and it's a really popular way for backpackers to travel around. Sorry, I just wanted to check I wasn't showing anything. For relatively cheap, and we use the Greyhound from Cairns all the way down to Melbourne. There's a blog post coming up on my blog really soon about more info, but I wanted to tell you how I survived the journeys. Number one, bring entertainment. Some of the journeys are really long. I'm talking like over 12 hours long, and it is boring. If it's at night, hopefully you'll sleep, but you may not. So make sure you've got either a book or a Kindle if you can read and you're one of those lucky people that doesn't get sick on public transport when you try to read. Bring music if you can. Sometimes it's just nice to drown out snores or other people talking or whatever, and it can be a nice way to chill out and try and get off to sleep. If you've only got your phone as a music source, don't worry, they have USB chargers on the buses. So just in front of every seat is a USB port, so you can charge your phone whilst you're on the bus, which is great. It also has Wi-Fi, which is a bit naff to be honest, most of the time, but at night it does get better with less people connected. So make sure you've got entertainment that you can hook up to that if you want to. Laptop or tablet, fine, have that available. And yeah, your phone, you can message people and keep yourself entertained as much as possible on long journeys. Number two, clothing. Be comfortable. During the day, try and wear light, airy clothes. There is aircon on the coaches, but it does still get very warm with the sun through the windows, so make sure that you're not overheating. Have a scarf or a cardi in case the aircon is super efficient. At night, you will be cold. You will be freezing on an overnight journey. The aircon is vicious. So if you can, have some leggings or tracky bottoms or jeans or whatever. If you're in shorts, you will freeze. So even if you start out in shorts and just take a pair of leggings and change in a toilet at a roadhouse, have something to keep warm. Hoodie, cardigan. Top tip is a travel towel. They pack up really small, but it can be used like a blanket, or a scarf is equally handy. Number three, bring snacks and water. You do get to stop at the roadhouses and other stops, but usually these things are pretty expensive. So if you can stock up in Woolies or Coles before you set out, you will save yourself a fortune. You can thank me later for that. Number four, for night journeys and long journeys, I've already said about the being comfortable and clothes, but if you're thinking about footwear, by all means start out in flip-flops, but bring a pair of socks as well. Your toes will get chilly. Number five, pick your seat carefully. We were only assigned seats once on any of our journeys. Usually you can just pick where you sit, and that's great. If you feel travel sick, I would say sit as near to the front as possible so you can see as much as possible. If it's at night, it tends to be warmer towards the back of the coach, but the toilet is at the back. Sometimes they can be smelly, and you will have people going to use them, so you might get disturbed. If you're someone with a tiny bladder like myself and you know you're going to need the toilet, don't sit right up the front, because you will have to push past everybody on a night journey and risk waking them up, and you won't be popular. Number six, get off at the stops. You may not feel like getting up and moving around, you might not want to buy anything, you might not even need to use the toilet, but your body on a long journey will definitely thank you if you get up and stretch your legs and have a little wander around. Number seven, one of my personal favourites, don't travel hungover. Irene did one Greyhound journey extremely hungover and was hating life between Noosa and the Gold Coast whilst we were on the Greyhound. This was due to 2 hours sleep and a lot of alcohol. So if you are someone that gets travel sick, it is very dangerous to combine a hangover with a long bus journey. It's not nice. It really isn't. And even if you don't get travel sick, you're gonna hate the entire journey. Just wait till you get to the next place for a few nights and go out then. You will thank me. I promise you. Don't do it, kids. And number 8. The toilet. Okay, so there is a toilet on the buses. Generally, they're pretty clean, actually. I never had any issues. The only thing to note is that the toilet door is really difficult to open. So, if you're trying to get into the toilet, I recommend steadying yourself with one hand on the chair nearest, as long as you're not poking someone else in the face, and pull. Otherwise, you might elbow the person. Steady yourself. It's hard. If you are inside and you can't work out why there is no light, you need to make sure the door is fully closed and locked before the light turns on. And if you're struggling to get out, the easiest way I found was this, which was holding on to the door, holding on to the side of the wall, and using my hip. If you just use your hip and don't hold the door, you risk whacking the person in the seat opposite in the face and being very unpopular. So those are my top tips for travelling by Greyhound. I actually can only compliment the company. We had a really good experience. We were very lucky. For more info, head on over and check out that blog post. I'll try and do a little bit of a video at some point about the Greyhound and how to book and all the rest of it. But for now, I hope that you also survive your journeys and enjoy yourself whilst travelling. See ya!